Good luck, Coach. And how about some champagne to go with that chicken?
George Preston Marshall acquired the NFL's Boston Braves in 1932. He moved the team to Washington in 1937 and renamed it the Redskins. He was a pioneer, staging halftime pageants and forming the first team band. It was Marshall who proposed splitting the league into two conferences with a season-ending championship game. At Marshall's funeral, Commissioner Pete Rozelle said, "We are all beneficiaries of what his dynamic personality helped shape over more than 3 decades." Cliff Battle's 6-year career was brief but prolific. In 1937, he scored 3 touchdowns against the New York Giants to win the Eastern Division title. The victory propelled the Redskins to their first NFL championship, in which Battle scored the game's first touchdown. Albert Turk Edwards signed for $150 a game with the newly formed Boston Braves in 1932. The Braves later became the Washington Redskins. Edwards was an all-pro tackle who occasionally drove the team bus. He would travel cross-country with owner George Preston Marshall to pick up newly signed players. Edwards played 9 seasons and helped establish the Redskins as one of the NFL's cornerstone franchises. In the 1937 championship game, Washington Redskins end number 40, Wayne Milner, caught 2 touchdown passes of 77 and 55 yards to down the Chicago Bears for the Redskins' first NFL title. Ray Flaherty led the NFL in receiving with the Giants in 1932 before becoming head coach of the Boston Redskins. An innovator, Flaherty introduced the screen pass and the 2-platoon system.
Here's Coach Red Flaherty with some of the boys, anxious to put on a good exhibition.
Flaherty's Redskins won NFL championships in 1937 and 1942, which secured their coach's place in Canton. Sammy Baugh is a football legend, but Slingin' Sammy came to the NFL as a lanky cowboy from Sweetwater, Texas, who grew up with little knowledge of the game.
Didn't know one thing about it. I didn't even know how many damn teams they had in pro football. We never heard anything about pro football in those days.
In 16 seasons with the Redskins, number 33 helped popularize the forward pass. He revolutionized the sport by proving the passing game could win a championship. The 6-time NFL passing leader guided his teams to 5 divisional and 2 NFL titles. Bullet Bill Dudley did many things on the football field and did all of them well.
He could do everything. He could pass. He led the league in ground gaining. He was one of the best defensive backs, I believe, that ever played this game.
In his career, Dudley led the league in 7 different statistical categories. And in 1946, he was first in rushing, interceptions, and punt returns. For 9 years, Bill Dudley did more of everything better than anyone else who played the game. Bobby Mitchell was one of pro football's most distinctive and elusive runners. As a halfback, wide receiver, or kick returner, number 49 was a threat each time he touched the football. In 1959, Mitchell ran through the Redskins for 232 yards on just 14 carries. 3 years later, he would join the Redskins and earn All-Pro honors. Mitchell's versatility allowed him to showcase his many skills and made him one of the most exciting players in the NFL.
Sonny Jurgensen probably played as well as anybody on Sunday after having a long visit to the local lounge on Saturday night.
Sonny Jurgensen got the most out of life and an 18-year career in the NFL. At the height of the Cold War, Jurgensen's right arm was Washington's most dangerous weapon. With 255 career touchdown passes, many still regard Jurgensen as the greatest pure passer of all time. An 8-time Pro Bowler, the Washington Redskins' Charlie Taylor began his career as a running back. In 1966, Redskins coach Otto Graham switched the 6'3" Taylor to wide receiver to utilize his height. At 210 pounds, Taylor had the size and strength to catch the ball in traffic. When he retired in 1977, Taylor was the NFL's all-time leader with 649 pass receptions.
2011 Hall of Fame inductee Chris Hamburger was best known as a ferocious tackler and leader of the late 60s and 70s Washington Redskins defense. He was selected first-team All-Pro at linebacker 4 times in a 5-season span from 1972 through 1976 and earned Pro Bowl honors 9 times in his 14-year career. Hamburger is the 22nd Washington Redskin to be elected to the Hall of Fame.
A great coach is often a master motivator. That was entirely true of George Allen.
You have to fear losing so much that it encompasses you.
This is the opportunity we all been waiting for. This is what it's all about.
And keep coming on every play and we'll win. Just remember this, 40 men together can't lose.
Led by their passionate coach, Allen's teams rarely did.
Coach George Allen today announced the signing of a multi-million-dollar contract with Major Mander's Finger-Lickin' Chicken. Said Coach Allen, "I'm a finger-licking chicken man from way back. Been eating it on the sidelines during games for years. Might even install the wishbone offense one of these days." At any rate, good luck, Coach. And how about some champagne to go with that chicken?
6'3", 200-pound Ken Houston was a natural at the strong safety position. This prototypical defensive back was a punishing tackler and an elusive runner when the ball was in his hands. With the Oilers, Ken Houston set an NFL record by returning 9 interceptions for touchdowns.
This is the law of the Yukon, and ever she makes it plain. Send not your foolish and feeble. Send me your strong and your sane.
With more than 11,000 career rushing yards, John Riggins is one of football's greatest runners. Yet, he is remembered more for who he was than what he accomplished.
John Riggins gave the National Football League personality, which a lot of people are trying to take away from the game today. John managed to stay within the bounds of society, got close to the edge, but stayed within them, and yet still had a personality that everybody could talk about.
There's the snap, hand to Riggins. Good hole. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone. The 35, the 30, the 20. He's gone. He's gone. Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
Bobby Beathard was noted for his adept eye for talent. An NFL scout prior to joining the Dolphins as director of player personnel in 1972, Beathard was an integral part of Miami's 2 Super Bowl teams. He moved on to Washington, D.C. in 1978, where as GM he molded the Redskins into champions, winning 2 Super Bowls.
The Washington Redskins, for the second time in 5 years, are National Football League champions.
As GM of the Chargers, he ended the team's decade-long playoff drought and guided the franchise to its first Super Bowl in 1994.
Art Monk was the Redskins' #1 draft selection in 1980. When he retired 16 years later, he was the NFL's all-time leader in pass receptions.
Rippon is back, looking for Monk on the out pattern. He's got it at the 27, out of bounds at the 23. Art Monk is now #1, the most prolific pass receiver in the National Football League's history.
The crowd is on its feet. They should be. What a great record to break, and a well-deserved honor for Art Monk.
For 12 seasons, the Washington Redskins employed head coach Joe Gibbs, and Gibbs in turn employed a tireless work ethic to build a championship team.
But what we got to be alert for are blitzes from out here, so we got to be alert.
Gibbs was the first coach to win 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks, and his postseason record of 16 wins and 5 losses ranks among the all-time best.
For 11 years, Washington's Russ Grimm was an integral part of one of the most recognized offensive lines of all time, the Hogs. Grimm's strength and agility were critical elements to the Redskins' power running attack. A 4-time Pro Bowler and 3-time Super Bowl champion, Russ Grimm is one of the most accomplished offensive linemen in NFL history.
I believe Russ Grimm was one of the greatest offensive linemen that ever played football.
2-2-0, buddy. Make you run fast.
Few in football boasted the sprinter speed of Washington Redskins cornerback Darryl Green. A 4-time NFL's fastest man, Green could run down anyone.
You know, I just think that there are fast guys, and then there are fast guys, and then there are fast guys that can play football, and then there are fast guys that can't. I really consider myself ultimately a football player that was fast.
He's chased down by Darryl Green. Green saves the touchdown.
Green was the Redskins' top cover man for most of his 20-season career, finishing with a team record 54 interceptions. With that combination of speed, skill, and durability, he was a lock for the Hall of Fame.
Bravo to the Hall of Famer.
For 15 seasons, Champ Bailey struck fear in quarterbacks across the NFL. The first-round pick out of Georgia began his career in Washington, but spent the majority of his time defending in Denver. As a 12-time Pro Bowl selection, Bailey had the ability to change a game with just one play, and retired with 52 career interceptions.
Talk about a game changer.